everybody, and welcome to Malt User Whiskey Reviews. I am Eric. Up on the bar for today is a rye whiskey, a single barrel rye for that. It is from Wilderness Trail, coming out of Kentucky. As always, here on the channel, you are going to get a nose taste finish review of this whiskey. I'll tell you a bit about the value, give you my final thoughts, final score, leave you with a malt musing. But first, before we dive into this, if you haven't yet, take a second, hit subscribe. I'll make sure you don't miss any of my reviews that come out every single Friday. You also get notifications for my happy hours, which is every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, so Wilderness Trail, relatively new distillery on the scene. They are coming out of Danville, Kentucky. They are producing both bourbons and ryes. And what we're looking at today is their Kentucky Straight Rye Whiskey. Now, a couple things to note about Wilderness Trail. First and foremost, this is 4 years old, and this is the youngest stuff that they're putting out. So right off the bat, they're releasing a 4-year-old rye whiskey with some note that they're going to be putting out later, older stuff as it still ages. All of their single barrel rye whiskeys come out at barrel proof. So you will find them anywhere from around 100 to even upwards of maybe 120 proof. This one in particular we're looking at today, 116 proof or 58% ABV on the alcohol. They are all single barrel as well. So these are non-chill filtered. It says so right here. They are individually labeled. And a couple other interesting notes here is that Wilderness Trail is one of the really bigger distilleries that are starting to completely use what's called a sweet mash process. So instead of the sour mash process, when the fermentation is beginning and they put in new stuff for fermentation, usually they leave a little bit of the yeast from the former batch that they were doing in there to kind of give it the extra kind of flavor, keeps it nice and sanitary and things like that. And so what they're actually doing is called a sweet mash process, which is they are removing that element. And what does that do? Well, among other things, it does give them more flexibility to play around with flavors. It does leave this to be a little bit sweeter, and it's not actually adding sweetness, it's removing acidity. So it's a little bit less acidic right out of the gate. Additionally, mash bill on this, 56% rye, 33% corn, 11% malted barley. So it is not a huge rye mash bill going on this whiskey. And they use all organic, locally sourced grains for their stuff. So a lot of information there about Wilderness Trail, but we know all that matters is what does it taste like at the end of the day. So let's get this in the glass. Here is what the color is looking like. Quite nice, quite dark. So right away, you can really tell the corn and barley making themselves known on this. Yes, there is some rye spice. It's more of like a fruity spice. So it's kind of a sweet spiciness, but there's a lot of kind of yeasty bread notes to this. There's definitely a lot of butterscotch, honey, maybe hints of red apple. Very nice on the nose. Little hints, maybe chocolate as well in the background. Berry, even. Quite an interesting nose. It's tart, it's got some spice, and it's got some sweetness for sure. Well, let's give it a taste. Cheers, y'all. Very rich, spicy, intense flavor on the arrival here. Vanilla, caramel, toffee, big time. It is really playing well with a very heavy spice. Despite being a younger whiskey, not really detecting any of that kind of new make spirit distillate note that you sometimes get with younger stuff. As it develops, the chili pepper, the rye spice hits pretty hard here. As it's going though, it's creamy, goes into a nice finish, medium long, a little bit of almost like burnt coffee, orange zest, some citrus kind of almost lemon peel maybe. That berry note again, it's almost like a juicy raspberry perhaps, just kind of in the background a little bit. Mm. Very explosively flavorful whiskey here for sure. Okay. Since it is this in one in particular is at 58%, let's bring this down a bit on the ABV by adding some water and see what else happens here. Do about 4 drops on this. Mm. With the addition of water, it's toning down the spice, it's toning down that citrus. What you're left with, very warm, buttery, creamy, almost like notes of like toast, breakfast toast, buttered breakfast toast, but maybe tapioca pudding almost. Spice, rye spice in the background. Very fresh, very lively. Mm. Sweetness still there. Okay. Mm. Rich vanilla, caramel, chocolate. Again, those more bourbon notes assertive, even at a more prominently here with the addition of water. Still get a nice hit of chili spice and rye. Again, it's kind of a fruity, there's almost like a fruity rye. There's even a little hints of floral in this, maybe a little bit of bitter herb and orange peel, blood orange, chocolate covered orange, kind of on the finish, medium to medium long, roasted, very roasted dark coffee, light bitterness. Um, all right. Okay, so Wilderness Trail here in 2021. It is not a very difficult whiskey to find. You should be seeing this on shelves across the United States fairly prominently now. You may need to go to a little bit more of a boutique liquor store to find it, but if you do, you're going to find this anywhere from around $60 to $65 USD. For the craft presentation you're getting here, the barrel strength, the 4 years, the single barrel, all good things here, at around $60 to $65. I think this is a medium to medium high value considering everything you're getting in a bottle here of this Wilderness Trail. Okay, final thoughts. This is a really exciting whiskey and it's a really exciting distillery. I like that they're kind of focusing on this sweet mash process. It's definitely giving them the ability to put out, it's arguably an even higher quality product at such a young age. The presentation here speaks for itself. Everything is coming in at cask strength, barrel proof. Everything is single barrel, non-chill filtered. I mean, this is what you're looking for in a whiskey. When I think about other rye whiskeys out on the market, around this 50, in that $55 to $65 range. I mean, I think that this is a step above things like the Wild Turkey Rare Breed Rye, for example. Um, I think this is just a really, really exciting whiskey. And if you were a rye fan, I highly recommend this. I would also recommend this whiskey for somebody who, maybe is just getting into rye. This is a bourbon drinker's rye in a lot of ways. The low amount of rye on the mash bill, yes, it's 56%, so it's still considered a rye because it's over 51. But boy, the corn and the barley notes on this really do give this an extra layer of kind of creaminess, almost a bourbon-like quality. So while you're still getting the spice, you're definitely getting it in a really, really nice balance. I think this is probably one of the better rye whiskeys you can coming out on the market right now these days here in the United States. And so I'm going to give it a generous score that I think is going to reflect the quality here. So my final score here on the Wilderness Trail single barrel proof rye whiskey is going to be a 3.75 out of 5. So Keep your eyes out for this stuff. This is really, really good, high quality presentation. I do love what they're doing and really excited to see how things go down the road here. I can't imagine what an 8-year-old rye whiskey from them is going to taste like. So 3.75 out of 5. And with that, I will kick you on over to your malt musing. If you enjoyed the review, make sure you smash that thumbs up on your way out the door. And I will catch you next week here on Malt Muser Whiskey Reviews. Cilantro.